Howdy y'all, and welcome back to I Am a Champion. So today marks 2 weeks since we've been on this journey together, and I just want to take a little time and answer a couple questions that I got from one of my dear friends yesterday. I'll be honest, I was not really into doing this video today because my mind is just not quite working right now, and so the topics that I really want to talk about, I just can't really put it to words today. And so I went out and I asked my prayer partner what kind of questions she might have about the Olympics, and maybe I could answer one or two of those for her. I'm going to attempt to answer 2 questions that she asked me, and we'll see how this goes. The first question has to do with skeleton and whether or not when you hit the sides it's a bad thing or a good thing. Well, anytime a skeleton, a bobsled, or a luge, their body or their apparatus hits a side, yes, it will slow you down. If you've watched Cool Run-Ins, you have possibly heard the term high in, low out. What that means is you want to have the best line. You want your sled, whether it be luge, skeleton, or bob, to not hit any sides and to go down the track in such a way as to get the most speed in the least amount of time. So any kind of friction, anytime you hit a wall or if you're too low on a curve, it will slow you down or it will take you longer to get around the curve, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to go into your turns as high as you can, go out of the turns as low as you can. If you've not watched that movie and you see that part, when you do go to see it, that's what they're talking about when they say high in, low out. So you don't want to touch anything. The difference between the 3 different disciplines that I told you about, bobsled, either 2-man or 4-man, and the 2-man also has 2 women. You're in an actual bobsled, inside covered. Basically, it looks like you're riding inside a bullet. A skeleton, you are riding head first, and the luge, you are riding on your back with your feet first. The skeleton is more tube-like in their blades, and the luge is more, the luge and the bobsled, they have more blades for their sled. So each one of those will dictate the speed a little bit differently and will make the ride a little bit more dangerous or a little easier depending on which sled of choice you are in. So that is my knowledge on bobsled, skeleton, and luge. How they steer it, I'm still not completely sure. I've heard that it has to do a little bit with the feet when it comes to both the luge and the skeleton. There's also something to do with the head and the neck. I would really recommend looking into that online if I were you, if you are more interested in how to steer. But that is the basic, those are the basics that I know. I also know that the speeds are roughly around 60 to 85 miles an hour between the skeleton, luge, and bobsled. Each one has a different speed, interestingly enough. Okay, so, and tonight, by the way, there is women's bobsled finals. So there you go. Next question actually has to do with curling. I was asked by both my dear friend on the phone and my mom just randomly last night, why on earth do these people sweep the ice? Does it need to be cleaned or something? So I looked it up. I know I kind of talked about curling yesterday. I'm really not fascinated by it. It's something that is very curious to us that haven't really played it or seen very much of it. So the questions come up and I thought I would try to look them up and maybe answer them for you. Well, here you go. I honestly thought it had to do with friction and making sure that the friction would make it move faster. I also thought that the curling stones were flat. Both of those theories were wrong. If you look at the bottom of a curling stone, which is made out of granite to my understanding, there's actually a round groove and it's concave in the middle, meaning it goes in like a cup in the middle. And when it is pushed, it's actually curling a bit. which is why it's called curling. I didn't even know that until I was looking it up last night to answer the why do they sweep question. So that's part of the answer, but the main answer to that question, why do they sweep? Well, it's not to cause friction. It's actually to do the opposite of causing friction. The ice is prepared in a very specific way for curling versus any other of the ice sports done with blades. I won't go into all of that, but I will tell you that predominantly that special preparation of the ice is to cause some friction of the stone on its path. And when they sweep, it's actually to take a little bit of that friction away. It's a little bit like if you had a ice cube in your hand and you went like this and you rubbed it with your finger, you would probably melt a little bit of the ice and it would be a lot more slick in the part that you are rubbing. It's that basic principle. The brooms are not actually brooms. They are more of a soft material. I don't quite know what it is, but I've seen it. It basically looks like something that you would scrub your dishes with. And yeah, so it's not bristly. Those brushes are not bristly. They are quite soft and more slick, I guess you could call it. And it is to make it glide smoother and faster. So it helps dictate the speed and also, in a way, the direction of the stone. Who knew? I will try and put a link to the bottom to a video I found last night about the physics of curling and how it kind of works. It may make things more confusing. Hopefully it'll make things less confusing. But it was a little bit interesting to me, especially in the first half of it. I'm not a physics person, but I found the visuals of the first half of the video quite interesting to learn about curling. It's more technical than we thought, or than I thought. Yeah. So there you go. 2 questions that were asked to me. Do you have any other questions that I can answer about an Olympic sport? Please don't ask me about tricks because I have no idea what a Salchow, a Lutz, or any of those are, but I still enjoy figure skating. And I really don't understand a whole lot about different kinds of tricks in snowboarding or skiing either. I enjoy watching them though, and I can tell you about the sport itself, most sports themselves, because I've been watching pretty much since they aired in 1988. Yeah, so shoot me some questions if you have any. I'll try and see if I can answer them either written or verbally in one of these. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. Sorry I was kind of long-winded, but anyhow, thanks for watching me for all this time. God bless. Ciao for now.